What's up, class? Welcome to today's activity. We're going to be creating this really cool neon effect in a program like photopea or Photoshop if you have it at home. To start off with, you're going to see that we gave you 6 options to choose from. You're going to end up doing this twice, so you're going to pick 2 of them out of the 6. You can hide the remainder of them or even delete them. We're going to do one at a time. So I'm going to start off with neon option 1. I like how he's crouched down. And each person is in a slightly different position, so obviously their shapes and how you do the effect will range slightly. To start this effect, we're definitely going to need a shape. So to make a shape in this program, the shape tool is all the way down here in the bottom. You can choose whatever shape you like. It should be a closed shape though. If you want something more polygonal, you're going to go to parametric shape. You're going to see on the top there's a whole bunch of settings. You can choose the size. So if I want a triangle, I'm just going to put a side of 3. I definitely don't want to fill on this, I just want the border. I also want my stroke to be white and the stroke to be thicker, so I set mine to about 10. And then I'm going to click and draw my shape wherever, whatever position I want. I want it to be flat like this. I can make this larger or smaller. I'm going to arrange my shape so that it overlaps on my person. So it should interact with your figure in some way. Now once you're happy with the location of your shape, you're going to add a neon glow effect. To do this, you need to go down to EFF on the bottom, or you can double click on your layer and hit outer glow here on the side. I've already set an outer glow, but you're going to change it to be the color you'd like. It doesn't have to be blue, it could be any color you like, but it is neon, so keep that in mind. I would also recommend the size be between 20 and 30. Anything less than that, you can't really see the effect. All the rest of the settings are kind of up to you and how you want this effect to show. As long as it looks neon, that's good. Once you're happy with your settings, you press OK. Now, I don't want this entire triangle to be overlapping on my person. I want it to look like my person is standing in front of the triangle. So I'm going to add a mask to my shape. When I do that, it's going to give me the option to paint away parts of this triangle. So I'm going to zoom in super close. Make sure I'm painting with black. So I'm going to take my brush, paint with black. And now usually we recommend soft brushes, but we want this to be super precise. So your brush hardness, if you go up here on the top, should be set to 100. Now you want to zoom in and be really precise about this. Anywhere the person would be in front of the shape, you're going to paint away your triangle. So take a minute or 2 to do this really precisely so it looks nice and clean. Now once I'm happy with that, I'm done with my mask, and now it should look like my shape is behind my person. Okay? Now the next part is going to be giving the illusion of light bouncing off the person's face. So to do that, we're going to start off with a blank new layer. So this new layer button right next to the trash in your layers panel, you're going to fill this blank new layer with black. To do that, let's go to Edit, Fill, and let's change this setting to be black. Okay? It's a little drop down arrow. Press OK. It's going to fill the whole thing with black. Now we need to change the blend mode from normal to linear dodge in order to see through this. If we hit linear dodge, we should see our figure now. Next thing we want to do is basically paint where we think the light of this triangle would reflect back on our person. So let's take our paintbrush. Let's make sure we're painting with the same color we chose for our glow, so we can use our eyedropper, the letter I on our keyboard. Click that blue, so we get that nice bright blue. I'm going to zoom in a little closer so I get that like true blue color. If you find that it's not like getting the right color, you can just double click and find the last blue you chose, which is this one or whatever color you decided to pick. And then we're going to take our brush, and in this case I actually want a soft brush, so I'm going to go back and change my hardness to 0, make my brush a little larger, and I'm going to paint everywhere I would assume that this light would reflect back on my person. So it's really going to be where your shape is. So I would say the shape would probably be a little bit over here, right on this side of his head as well, part of his arm, maybe a little bit right over here. I'm not being super precise because I can erase and clean it up later. Now obviously this is a little too intense, it looks super fake, but we're going to clean this up now. In order to make the effect kind of blend in with the photograph a little, we're going to double click on the layer. When we do that, we'll have this option down here where it says background. We're going to move this whole thing over, the black slider, to the right, so it kind of allows the figure to stand out. We want a little bit more of a range, so we're going to hold down Alt or Option on our keyboard and then click down on the second arrow. It's going to allow us to pull this even further. What you're looking for is a little bit of that blend there, so it's not so obvious. The range will be dependent on how much you painted and how intense you want your effect, but it should look a little bit more natural like you're seeing here. Once you're happy, you're going to press OK. Now, if I feel like I did too much, I can always like erase some of this with my eraser tool. I think I got too much on his hands and his arm, so I'm just going to clean that up a little bit. And if you feel like you didn't paint enough, you do the opposite. You paint with your brush again and you bring that back that effect around the person. Now the last thing we're going to do is put a color lookup adjustment layer. To do that, we know our adjustment layers are down here. Color lookup. I gave you a whole bunch of great ones that'll kind of just darken the image. You can choose whichever you like. There's even one named Neon if you really want to be very literal. Or you can kind of tinker around with ones you like. You just want the neon effect to be really stark and the image in the back to look a little darker. Once you're happy with your color lookup choice, you are done with your effect. You can save this as a JPEG. You're going to provide a screenshot of your layers panel. You're going to do this with a second photograph, a different one. So when you're done, you should hide all of these layers and show a different option and repeat the same technique. Now, if you want some extra credit or to push yourself with an extension, try to create a concert ad based on the neon effect you did with whatever band or concert you'd like to go to. Good luck, be patient, can't wait to see what you guys come up with.